we need to be kinder to ourselves and to realize that it's okay to be not perfect. I think with the innovation through technology and the competitiveness that humans have developed, I think it's a common thing now to want to be perfect and to aspire to be the best at something you can possibly be, which isn't to say that trying or wanting to be as good as possible at something is a bad thing. It's just that we've created this obsession with being perfect, even though there really truly is no specific or even a definition of perfect. If we take a look at nature is not perfect. And there's no way to say that there is a perfection that nature could achieve and that it isn't. But if you think about it, nature sort of just goes with how it goes. Sort of just like, I don't know, if you're surfing, like you kind of got to look and just go with the flow. And nature has its flow and we have ways to predict it, which most of the time work relatively well, but in the end, it's uncertain what will happen, which just goes to show nothing is perfect, and perfection is impossible in the end. If we take a look at nature again, there will be times where it's thundering or lightning strikes, even crazy things like that. And you can even think of, the food chain. Like when one predator hunts its prey was not unperfect. It just happened to be that it had gotten eaten by a predator. And sometimes that's just how things are. I think we need to be more kind to ourselves and more accepting of the fact that sometimes things are just going to go how they go, and that we really in the end have no control over them. We can try our hardest to master techniques or the control of something, but in the end, we're not going to ultimately be able to determine the final outcome. And I think that's part of also what makes life so great. It sort of is like a cliffhanger. It leaves you with, expectations of something that could happen, but you really know that in the end, you don't have any control over it, and it could be anything. I think if we were to have a perfect world where everything went the way that people wanted it to, obviously that isn't possible, but theoretically, if we were to have that, I think that it would turn out to be, it would create more problems than do good, because we see perfection as this sort of be-all, end-all scenario that will finally get us the pleasure and joy that we seek. But that's sort of just a fallacy that we chase in the hopes that we will reach something. But it also makes us realize, it also distracts us from the fact that we are improving constantly. But if we were to have a perfect world, I don't know what that would be, but life would be boring. And I think we would find out that even then, we might have a different definition of perfect. We're always going to have different opinions on things, but we're also always going to never settle on anything ultimately. That's sort of a human trait that many of us have, that sort of unwillingness to settle on anything or to just be set. And again, that's also what makes humans so great and what leads us to accomplish amazing things. But it's also what drives us into the ground.